Alrighty everybody, and welcome to Wednesday's Starfleet Command Orion Pirates Plus Mod stream. We are here once again, finally in the very end of the Orion Pirates campaign itself. We shall hopefully be moving on to finish this one in relatively short order. We'll be streaming for about 2 hours, and I anticipate at least one of those hours we will probably be starting the next campaign, so let's get things started. Hello Sean, hello Raider. Again, you start the stream in the middle of your activity. Well, I can't help when you're viewing it. Alright, let's set up our cartel view so we can check out to see how things are going. Prime Industries is mostly dead, and we have them down, I believe, to only a cartel defense of 5 at the highest in most of their territories. Oh, they got to 10-1. So they have one location that is a 10, and it's right here. So 25-12 will be the hardest nut to crack in this one. So let's set out. Well, actually, let's check the shipyard real quick. Make sure that we're all set up. Make sure that there aren't any other X-type. Oh no, we were going to hang in a single X-type destroyer for a little while, weren't we? We were going to keep an eye out for an XCA, although those are incredibly rare and they don't seem to come up all that often. Doesn't appear to be out there. So okay, off we go to see if we can't finish off the last of Prime Industries. Let's take MET Temp Patrol because it's a nice, solid, not easy but simple mission that we can take. Something to sort of ease ourselves into what we're doing. Red alert. And we have the Best Nebula. Not quite. The Best Nebula has a planet in the middle of it, but it's close. It's very close. So let's get ourselves up to combat speed as we prepare to duel whoever it is that shows up. We do have a single support over here. It does appear to be the Demolition, who a little bit dented, but he'll be fine. So let's set ourselves up. I think the volume is a little bit loud. Don't you think so? Let's set that back just a bit. Alright, so we have no sights on an enemy, except now they're there. Perfect. Excellent timing. So we have a single LDP, was it? I think that's what it said. HBDP, who apparently is a Gorn Heavy War Destroyer. Did you do something with the sound? Yeah, it did seem to be a little bit off. I've recently migrated my SSD, and so things are a little bit different. I'm trying to keep them locked in. Let's kit ourselves up to maximum power and also give ourselves a fairly decent forward shield reinforcement. We don't, of course, want to have to kill ourselves on his plasma torpedoes, so we're going to set up a... You know what? I'm going to be aggressive. We're going to set up a scatter pack. We're going to use missiles and the maximum aggression that we can actually manage to bring to bear. Single Gorn light cruiser as it is. We do have probes, so let's launch them. Let's figure out exactly what it is we're getting involved with. So HBDP is a heavy war destroyer, plasma destroyer. Heavy War Plasma Destroyer, and he's packing 3 Plasma F equivalents. One of them is a G, but the G just gives him additional range. Well, let's hope there's no robotic voice on this stream. I will bet you almost anything that there will be a robotic voice at some point on this stream. So let's come in here. Oh, he's a pseudo-frigate tender. Okay, so the P is pseudo-frigate tender. That makes a certain amount of sense. And he is traveling at a speed of 27, which is pretty significant. Let's get our missiles out and take care of all of him. So the first missile is away. Wow, there are quite a few of them. He does decide to fire towards us. Where did my missiles go? There's one of my missiles. Where's the other one? I did fire to... Oh, there. They must have been just at the right angle. Hello, Josh. Hello, Gravemind. Welcome to the stream. Yes, let's hope we can get the pirates finished today. Oh, they're shooting things down. They're being aggressive. Okay, that's one dead. Next missile. And target you. And we'll fire a missile over here. We are taking a little bit of phaser damage, but that's perfectly okay. At the moment, we're taking out most of his defensive firepower. Do you have any other pseudo-frigates? I think I've taken care of all of them already, so it's just me and you. And, well, also him over here, but it's going to take him a little while to actually get into the fight. We are waiting for our weapon systems to fully charge. I could try and go for picking him up and dragging him around with a tractor beam and dropping a scatter pack missile launcher onto him, but I just don't want to waste the firepower. I'm going to see if I can bait him into using his plasma torpedo. That would be the most helpful thing we could do at this moment. Unless he turns in on Demolition Man, and if he does that, or not Demolition Man, just Demolition, if he does that, then we'll be able to come in towards his flanks and slam into him with the heavy photon torpedoes. It does appear we are out of missiles aside from the one missile left here. So in total we have 7, because there are 6 in the scatter pack shuttle, and then this one additional in the launcher. So again, we're going to see if we can't curl in a little bit closer. I want to bait out that shuttle, or not the shuttle. I want to bait out a plasma torpedo. He's got 3 of them. He's about to probably have all 3 of them recharged again as well. I could shoot at you, but you'll just tractor beam it, which would make it a waste of a weapon system. Could also waste time until the demolition showed up. Let's get a little bit more aggressive on this one. We're going to turn right on into him and see what he does with this. Because at the end of the day, he does have a very big sledgehammer that he could use at us. At any time, and we'll start our turn away. Come on, that's got to be close enough. Use your plasma torpedoes, gosh darn it. No, he opted not to. Okay, phasers. Let's just start phaser plinking then. We've got better phasers than he does. I mean, technically not, but we use our phasers better than he does. There is that going for us. So we could try and slow down and bring the forward weapons back onto bear. The reason why I didn't fire on the initial pass is because the moment you open fire with your weapons, the high energy turn deactivates, and so you're stuck. So I wanted to make sure that I was on a disengaging course so that it wasn't going to get us killed by, you know, suddenly 60 damage with the plasma torpedoes flying into your face. And also we're giving time for Demolition to get into the game because he does have a couple of fighters, and those could be very useful. Alright, we've almost cut through his shields, and we're going to come back around over in this direction. That will draw us way out for a little bit, but that's perfectly alright. Hopefully he will waste most of his firepower. And we have learned the name of the enemy vessel. It is the Triceracon, which is a very interesting named ship, I suppose. One plasma torpedo, firing back between each other, although that looked like it managed to hit a wild weasel, so no damage was dealt there. However, he is now vulnerable to my scatter pack should I be able to get it in range. I should, but it'll be an interesting sprint to the finish. Actually, let's get our missile out. Or do we want to wait? I think we'll wait. So good hits coming in on him already. Triceracon is being damaged quite decently. We got plasma torpedoes getting through. That's always nice. Let's get that missile out now. Phasers are on overload. Heavy photon torpedoes. We got a target. There's no attack shift, so we're going to be hitting basically full might here. All up and select. Oh, we got one of the weapons on, but the second heavy photon torpedo was not able to make contact, as we'll pass through, use our Gatling phasers, and dump this just as a final goodbye. I don't think he'll survive this. I was actually kind of hoping to kill him in that pass. Probably wishful thinking, but I really didn't want to waste the scatter pack. But hey, if it kills him in this one, and it just might, he's pretty close to another wild weasel. Wow, you have a lot of tractor beams, although to be expected from anybody who's actually a pseudo-frigate tender. I had to reinstall my copy, now it just crashes at the start of the mission, no more Starfleet command. I assume you've tried the fan patch from Hot and Spicy Thornbush. Because that's a real shame. The main problem that I think comes out a lot is you're using the wrong color set. You've got to change that to, I forget something. This was way back the first time I set it up. And the other one is make sure you're at the right resolution in the configuration screen. You've got to set it to something that the game can actually handle. We'll take a diplomatic delivery, something relatively simple, and at this point I'm trying to just get any mission that I can possibly find to see if it actually will deal damage to them on the cartel defense map. Single light cruiser is our enemy. We're escorted once again by the Demolition. The Demolition appears to be quite heavily damaged in the last match. He was only making a speed of 8 the whole time, and while he did have a fighter squadron, it didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Okay, we got a CDD, a command destroyer, I'm gonna guess? We'll send out a probe and figure out... I forgot. No, the phasers charge at double speed, so the fact that they just turned on means half a turn has passed, not a full turn. Normally I use either the phasers or the phaser capacitor. The phaser capacitor is a pretty much guaranteed way of figuring out when the first turn has passed and your probes are ready to go. So let's launch the probe and figure out exactly what's about to happen. And now the phaser capacitor is charged, we also have a whole bunch more power that we can pour into the engines. We have no more shuttles, so we're kind of stuck on that front. I probably should go home to get them restocked, but I don't want to go home. I like being out in the middle of the galaxy with the wind in my hair. We have, for our troubles, 4 missiles. Well, 4 missiles in each, so 8 in total, but we probably won't turn into that. He's got a single S and 2 F-type plasma torpedoes. In total, that's 70 damage, which is pretty significant. That'll cut through my forward shield in, well, one pass. We'll make sure that our phasers are set to overload mode and get ourselves up to a little bit of shielding reinforcement whenever the power happens to be available. Probably should start stacking up a bunch of missiles, so we'll see if we can't provoke the sort of response that I want. What do you think? 4 or 6? I'd rather have it be 4, but 6 might be the appropriate way to force the wild weasel. That would be desirable. So we got the first salvo out, the second salvo about to follow because they're C-Racks which fire at double speed, which is excellent to have. So we're just going to bear right down on him. I would set the heavy photon torpedoes to overload mode, but I don't think we're going to have that opportunity. Gorn have the best loadouts. Gorn have the most straightforward loadouts. If you're looking for the simplest way to play the game, the Gorn are it. They are just a gigantic sledgehammer with which they destroy the enemy, or at least attempt to destroy the enemy. How is he going to respond to this? He's launched both of his F-type plasma torpedoes and then he braked immediately. So we'll pull directly away. We are far beyond the range of these F-type plasma torpedoes. We'll just circle around him as best as we can. And I would like to get both missiles on target, but that might be a little bit difficult. So let's go missiles, and we're going to turn on and see if we can't get another stack up going on here. That way we can get as much firepower as we can onto him. It's going to be slightly less than half a turn with which the missiles will actually get there, but it should be close. He still has that S-type plasma torpedo that I need to be very worried about. Alright, he's got 4 towards him. Let's see what he does with that one. There's the S. Alright, direct away. This is going to be close. Oh, missiles went right on into him. Aft phasers, just anything you can manage. I got a quote from the Art of War: when facing an enemy, it's best to pick the corn. Well, that's an interesting saying. I don't quite remember Sun Tzu saying that. Alright, we're getting quite a bit of hits on the aft shields, and our defensive Gatlings have probably mostly burned it down. Let's just make sure. Thank you. Okay, so now we've used all of our point defense on that, made sure that his weapon did no damage to us. We can now go right on into him to try and nail him with the heavy photon torpedoes. He is not charging his defensive electronic countermeasure. Point defense, what's that? Well, normally they beat you into submission before they need it, so I suppose I can't knock him too much for that. Please give me that angle. I have the angle. Can I keep the angle? Angle was kept. A nice little pass on through. 67 damage right through that hole in his shields. And Gatling phasers, yes, just in time to scatter most of his side weapons. Our aft shield is quite heavily damaged at this point. But who needs more point defense when you have more plasma? Exactly. Also, their armor. Their armor is just insane. I wish I had that kind of armor. It'd be amazing. I anticipate he will Wild Weasel this. I can't imagine he'd only had the one shuttle, although there's entirely possibly a chance. Yep. Unfortunately, those plasma torpedoes were wasted. Demolition finally got into the fight and did basically nothing. He tried his best. Let's come in here, see if we can't get around to this red shield in the back. We have enough power in our shields to handle this F-type plasma torpedo when it comes online, but I'd like to be on my way out by the time it actually activates. Alright, we got a little bit of jamming going on there. And again, my super weak aft shields. Alright, we need to slow down a little bit so that we can actually start charging other weapon systems. It's a little bit important. It looks like, he fired his plasma torpedoes at Demolition, but Demolition was on top of him, so he took a little bit of splashback from the plasma. Not his most brilliant plan, since he lost one of his plasma torpedoes for his trouble, and he has fired everything. Demolition is, I can't say unhurt, but this Phaser 3 has been down since the beginning. And there goes an I-type plasma torpedo going right to the back, and almost hasn't quite torn him apart, but our phaser capacitor is full. Heavy photon torpedoes aren't ready, but the phaser capacitor should be able to handle all of what we're about to dish out. He has no defensive systems anymore. He has lost all of his plasma torpedoes. This is a good night. Beautiful. Alright, so let's set the green alert. We don't need that anymore. Maximum speed and maximum speed of time. Come over here to the transporter room and get ready to dump the diplomat. Looks like we're dropping him off either on Venus or a gas giant again. It's a little bit small for a gas giant, but he's probably not going to enjoy this posting. But once we get within our range of 5.99, we will be able to dump him off and leave him here until the end of time. Start to slow down because we don't want to crash into the planet, especially at maximum speed of time. That tends to make things get a little bit close faster than you anticipate. And 6, and we're within 5. Oh, did I pass? I passed right back out of 6. Get within. Send the people. Turn away. And there we go. Diplomat successfully delivered onto the surface of Jupiter? Venus? One of the two. Venuser? Venator. Venator sounds like a proper Star Trek name. Alrighty, so let's hope that that actually flips a tile, because we do not know what actually flips a tile. It still didn't. There is a mission out there. We will figure it out that will actually give us what it is we desire. And what we desire is the tile to go to us, or at least to go neutral, so we can finally move away from it. Do you have an X-type heavy cruiser? You do not. Okay, so let's just top off the supplies on our ship. 2 admin shuttles, a couple of missiles. It's 1 diplomat if it's Jupiter. Well, I assume we gave him a pressure suit of some description. Get ourselves up to full kit. It cost us 78, but we're sitting on top of enough cash that we really don't care. Take the convoy raid. Maybe convoy raiding is what we need to do in order to actually flip tiles. If it is, I will pursue convoy raids left, right, and center. Because we're just looking to finally end this. Did I not press? I did not press the button. And prepare to launch ourselves into the latest of aggression against the convoy. What are we dealing with? I'm seeing 3 light, well, not light, but decent-sized freighters and a single frigate. This is a Romulan convoy for sure. We're going to go right in on them and prep a scatter pack. And prep a tractor beam, and then we'll shut off the tractor beam, because now we know what causes that to shut off. And we'll activate the tractor beam again. Alright, so we're up to okay speed. The plan will be dump a scatterback right on his face after we tractor beam him, because he's not going to have his plasma torpedoes ready for a little bit. And that's sort of the key of this strategy. It'll take him 3 turns to charge a plasma torpedo, and hopefully we can knock him down before that happens. Full power! There is at least as much power as I can get. Oh, we can get full power. Good. And forward shields to reinforce. We've got an FQL bearing down on us, I assume. Well, he is an FQL, so he's a Q-ship leader. He should have 2 G-type plasma torpedoes if he wants to get involved in this fight. We're going to hope that he doesn't, because that would make life awkward. 3 plasma torpedoes. It's a G and 2 Fs in something so small. Dumping a bunch of in. How very miraculous. Well, yes, that's kind of my faction. Alright, up to the top. Prepare the transporter mines. We're within range. Dump. And stay within range, stay within range. And he missed the bloody mine. How did you do it, sir? Well, now he's going to have a wild weasel. He'll probably have his plasma torpedoes ready to go. Alright, so let's get ready for this, because this kind of sucks. I was really hoping that he would hit that, but I underestimated just how maneuverable his Klingon-designed vessel is. Alright, start to slow down. And... there. Let's see if we pull away from it in time to make sure that he hits it. And got him! Okay, all up and select. Phasers to overload, please. Hi, he's about to decloak. This is gonna hurt a lot. I'm gonna tank it, though, because I think we can. Come on, heavy photon torpedoes, get on target. Okay. Oh, I took out our shuttle, you little jerk. And he let us go. Okay, more power, more power. I want to stay in this blind spot. I'm perfectly happy to be here, and he dumped his wild weasel just in time. Let's get around with the rest of the weapon systems. Come on, what's my chance? 116? Oh, heck yeah, I'm going to take it. I'm going to rapid turn, get right back on him. The Gallia X-Ray, the last time I saw that ship, it was a dreadnought. Hi, I've got a whole bunch of phasers, and they all got your name on it. Just make sure that they're overloaded. More missiles, more phasers, and I think I got you. Gotcha. Okay, so short, sweet little battle. And now the FQL enters the fight. He wants to get involved as well, and we're going to have to make sure that he doesn't take us for too much damage, because we have a convoy to kill. A lot of this convoy apparently is Q-ships. What are you? We got a single small freighter, and then we got 2 more escorts coming in. Luckily, they're not particularly well armed. Or armored. I mean, the plasma F torpedoes are pretty scary for what they do, but that's all they've got. So once I get past their armor, I should be able to kill them. And in fact, this might actually prompt them to Wild Weasel, which would be helpful when I follow up with the next set of missiles the next turn. But we are about to find out, because most freighters will attempt to avoid that. Nope, he shot them both down. That is unfortunate. Hi, I think I'm just going to kill you on my way through. I'll ignore the Q-ships for now, that way I can isolate them. So I think the phasers should be able to do you in. Oh, they did. They most certainly did. And you have a point defense system, so there's no point in single staggering the missiles. So let's see if I can't get a single tractor beam charged up in time as we slow down a little bit. Just sort of line up with him. As long as we stay above a speed of 10, we are faster than whatever they can do. So we need to get just a little bit closer. The goal is to tractor beam him so that I can fire missiles into him that will hurt him quite severely. And tractor beam's on, all on fire. So looks like we stunned the system offline, which will keep him held in time to do that. Wonderful, full power. And we turn away from the plasma torpedoes. Alright, so who's left? It's just your buddy over there who has weak armor? You don't say. So phasers are charging, so I can keep a little bit below maximum speed. That'll be fine. And we should be able to maneuver around these guys. Their maximum speed of 10 means that they're pretty vulnerable. Or rather, not very good at their job. Because I can just slip around them. Now, they could cut through my shielding. They almost have. This is a shield that is below a strength of 5, so not too much effort would be required on their part to knock it out. Have that. You've been firing your weapons at me pretty continuously, so maybe you won't have any point defense systems, and that will allow me to push you away for a little while. Are you just going to take it? 1 tractor beam, 2 tractor beams, and I'll see if I can't fire my missiles as fast as possible. We might be able to stack enough missiles up on top of him that he dies. Although he'll probably Wild Weasel before he dies, but you never know. Sometimes the AI can be dumb. 1 heavy photon torpedo is ready. I'm not going to use it. We're just going to use the phasers to take on this FHS. And once we've got this killed, we should be good. Please stop shooting my weak shields. Alright, Alright, so marks have been left, but yeah, the shield is down. That's what I was expecting. Gatling phaser, take him out. Alright, they're hurting, but they're not dead. Make that no longer be the case. So a couple of missiles. I fired 2 just in case they shot any down. That took him out. Wonderful. So all the freighters have been defeated. It is now just us versus a couple of plasma torpedo armed freighters. They're not particularly well armored, although they have a decent armament. The plasma torpedoes just are, they're enough to make you concerned for how much damage you're about to take. So I'm just gonna hang out at long range and I'm gonna blink away with my phasers because, well, you can't stop me from doing that. I mean, you could try, but you're not really doing anything required. I believe your plasma torpedoes fire backwards, so being behind you is not particularly helpful. Just places us in a position where we can get shot at. So as we continue to curl around in, we could try just bouncing what's about to come our way, but I'd rather not risk the damage anyway. Shut off that. Hi, I think I've got enough firepower to kill you. I was wrong. Oh, I'm about to take a plasma torpedo to the back unless I can knock this thing out. Yeah, both of his plasma torpedoes on target. Luckily, we're at our maximum speed, so we might be able to burn these things down. But we have dealt a pretty decent amount of damage to him so far. But he no longer has defenses, so we're going to turn in and focus most of our efforts on him. Unless his buddy keeps holding position in front of him. I could actually bail from this mission, and there would be no negative consequences since we've destroyed the convoy and that was our job. But I feel like I'd be doing only half the job if I did that. Most of the phase capacitor is ready again. It's almost at full charge anyway. I should probably shut off one of my heavy photon torpedoes. I really don't need them. I mean, I am fighting somebody who really can't defend themselves all that efficiently. So, does it really matter? And we're going to get nice and close with him once again. We want to make sure that we deal as much damage as we can. Get through most of his shield. And Gatling phaser is on target to weaken. Other Gatling phaser, please? I have 2 of them. Come on. There we go. Getting involved with that. So we've knocked out both of his plasma torpedoes. He's basically worthless. He's got a couple of additional phasers, but unless we allow him to continually blink at our weakened shields, he probably isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot. He, on the other hand, is causing some interesting issues, and he still also has his plasma torpedoes, so he's still a little bit dangerous. But I think we're just going to keep pursuing this guy first. We want to knock him completely out of this fight. I don't want to have to deal with him at all. But I do need to beware of getting behind this FQL, because I do, or not this one that I'm targeting, but the one behind him, because I don't want to get shot at by his plasma torpedoes. That'll force me to push away and reset my attack. So as long as I can keep him in front of me, or me in front of him, it's an awkward place to be normally. Normally you're fighting so hard to get behind your enemy, but in this case, no, you want to be right on their 6. No, you want to be right on their bow. I'll get it right eventually. Alright, so let's target him, and this might be enough, although he did fire his plasma torpedoes to me, so we do have that to worry about. We are luckily doing maximum speed, so phasers. Still haven't killed what I'm looking to kill, which is you. Still haven't killed him. Have I burned those plasma torpedoes dry? It does kind of look that way, so I'm going to turn away now. Get the other Gatling phasers involved, unless, no, he was going to pull that. Clever of you, sir. By pulling this starboard turn instead of coming into me, he's making it so I can't get that Gatling phaser on. But luckily, the rest of my phasers were capable of taking him. They've managed to whittle down my defensive armament pretty considerably. I should be giving them a little bit of a credit for that. Crew ships are pretty tough. I feel like the shields come back crazy quick. Their shields really didn't. It's just the fact that we weren't being too aggressive against it and we were hitting multiple different sides. So that shield didn't fall at all. There we go. Now we're through. I get the Gatling phasers on through. We've lost another shield. Unfortunate. So now he's finally starting to reap the benefits of all the little plinking that he's done. But that's not going to save him. I mean, yeah, he can get a little bit of damage into on us, but I really don't care about how much damage he can inflict. Unless he can get those plasma torpedoes on my hull, it's not going to help him. So we're just going to increase the speed of time. Because we've got him at this point. He's basically doomed. Slow down. Oh, crap. Plasma torpedoes. Hey, remember how I said the only chance that he had was to get plasma torpedoes on my hull? Congratulations, he's done it. Luckily, he didn't actually manage to knock out any systems. He didn't even do any power damage. So our belt armor actually handled pretty much all of that. So we've got him for sure now. And Gatling phaser's doing the job. Burning through most of what he's got. He still surprisingly has plasma torpedoes. I was expecting them to be gone by now. He has no aft shield. Block that. And can I get the Gatling phasers involved? They're very good for knocking out systems because of the number of times that they shoot. Still haven't killed them. Are you completely kidding me? I do have a wild weasel that I could use at a moment, but I don't feel like it because I've got him. There we go. His plasma torpedoes are offline. Finally. Playing with the Q ships was a little bit much. We're going to have to go in for a bit of repairs, but hey, at the end of the day, we have more than enough cash to handle it. And as long as we get a successful mission that actually takes over the tile, then that's what we're going to do. It did. Okay, so Convoy Missions, I'm going to just focus completely on them. Because it apparently is the only way to actually do anything around here. So, still no CAX or XCAs. We'll repair the 115 damage. Plus the spare parts and the Marines that we spent. And restock the missiles and the shuttles. Very important to restock the shuttles. Okay, so we need to just continually find convoy assaults. Who cares? Forfeit. I lose my biggest ship, but I only have the one ship, so it doesn't actually lose it. So we'll just keep going around, and hopefully we'll figure out where a convoy raids are, and we'll continue to do that. Now, there's a whole bunch of convoy raids we're going to have to go through, but I'm feeling pretty confident that we can knock out enough of them out that we will finally finish this campaign. And the Demolition is back with us. Still hasn't managed to fix that Phaser 3. I wonder if at least he still has his fighter group around. Let's see what it is we're dealing with. We got a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, and a light cruiser. This time we're going after the Gorn convoys. It is an HBDX-1, so it will have improved power generation and, you know, Phaser X's, as most are wont to do. Luckily for us, he actually can't defend himself from a massive scatterpack strike because he doesn't get a cloak. So that whole strategy we had earlier on, where we were going to, you know, tractor beam him and then... Oh, it didn't... Huh. It didn't reset the tractor beam. Interesting. That whole strategy where we were going to tractor beam him and launch a scatterpack into his back. Yeah, he can't stop us from doing that. He's just incredibly vulnerable to it. So let's increase our speed. We have a very limited window of opportunity because of the spawns to hit him before a lot of plasma torpedoes are ready. Wow, that's 100 damage worth of plasma torpedoes. Let's get that forward shield reinforcement because he is going to have a lot of phasers. Overload all systems. All up and select. And fire. Hi, I've got you. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to hold you until... I'm not really sure how long. We're just going to find out. Well, I know how long I'm going to hold him, probably. When those plasma torpedoes are almost ready to go, that's when I'll do it. But I think I'm about to force a... I think I'm about to... Yep, there it is. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted. And the timing's quite nice, too, because we will have the scatter pack to deploy relatively shortly. Heavy photon torpedoes are almost ready as well. We do need to be careful. If he makes a hard turn in relatively short order, he could probably hit us quite badly. Dump that. Fire the missiles. I heard a cloak. Oh, my cloaking device. I hit the wrong button. But that's okay. Oh, please tell me I didn't cloak and thus shut off my scan. I did. Well, that's unfortunate. So we are going to have to come out of cloak here, and he's already taken quite a bit of damage. He's having a bad day all around. Lots of Gatling phaser fire, and he's lost most of his defensive tractor beams at this point. He has lost his shuttle bay. He's basically just a wreck at this point. So we've got him pretty dead. He still has an S-type plasma torpedo. He hasn't used it yet. But if I don't get in front of him, he never will. Yep, heavy photon torpedoes. They will do the job. Alright, let's see if we're dealing with any... Nope, we do not have any specific Q ships to deal with in this convoy, so we're just going to up the speed and go full power into people. Focus on overloading the phasers only. We'll ignore the missiles and the heavy photon torpedoes since we're not going to use them. Although they did almost get through that shield. They are being persistent. So high. A decent amount of damage on there. Plus some more damage over there. We got a couple of systems through. Unfortunately, we did not destroy the shuttle bay. If we had, I would have launched my missiles just to finish him off and deal with other things, but unfortunately we didn't. So we'll take the long way around because I don't feel like lowering my speed any. And come up right behind him, and still alive. There we go, okay. So that's the first of the Gorn freighters destroyed. You are next in line technically, and you have plasma torpedoes. I don't know where they do fire to the front. Okay. I wasn't quite sure. So he did manage to cut through our forward shield, which is unfortunate. So the cave fire, which according to the fleet screen is an FLPL. Should have realized it. I did not. I'm not sure why. Into the next one, which is another one of these armored freighters. And just the phasers. Keep focusing on just the phasers. I don't want to bother with launching missiles, which will not do anything, and then that will reduce our chance to actually hit people. So we'll stick just to the phasers just to finish picking off the rest of the convoy. Does appear like Demolition is having a little bit of trouble, but then again, Demolition probably should have gone home a while ago. Seriously, the fact that his defensive phaser 3 of his is still not fixed. Yeah, somebody needs to give this guy a break. And we're almost out of guys. Yep, shouldn't have done that, but I hit the red alert, and that selected all weapons. So we'll come back around, and this pass ought to do it, because I don't think he'll have another Wild Weasel ready in time. And dead. Are we down to a single armored freighter? Yep, it's just you, my friend. So we'll just use our phasers here, and we got him. Wonderful, so that's another convoy taken out. Hopefully, with luck, cross your fingers, that'll actually be the tile taken, or neutralized. And if it is, then we've confirmed that convoy raids are pretty much the only way that the cartel pirates actually make any progress on this. 290 prestige, it did not. It feels like such a totally random system, and I'm not sure how it works. It really bugs me. Because it makes me wonder, how much of a chance do I really have to neutralize this tile? Because it is taking forever. So let's red alert. We are spawning in a far position on this one, and I'm not quite certain whose convoy this is. Because this is a Hydron freighter, but these two are neutral armored freighters, and they could be anybody. Let the tile flip. Yeah, we desperately wanted to. We are so close to the end of this campaign, because they don't have any real defenses left. It's basically just, well... Seriously, where's your defender? At this point, there is one station that has a defense of 10. So if this were just a normal campaign, we would be through that in no time at all. But it's not because of, well, obvious reasons. Alright, let's start stacking up a salvo here. Maybe this will be ready in time. I'm really hoping for it. Break off. And slow down the speed of time just so I can arrange a couple more systems. Yeah, that's not going to be ready in time. But this will force the Wild Weasel out of him. Because he will see 4 missiles and he will panic and he will break. And there's his break. Wonderful. Unfortunately, we're basically out of missiles. We have 1 left. Phasers, make sure they're set to overload. I'd like to avoid those plasma torpedoes, but what I could do is I could just jump on the convoy. That is an option that we have. I'd launch a single plasma, or I wish I had prepped that scatter pack at the start of the mission. Then I could have actually done something with it. By not doing that, by the time I launch the scatter pack, he's going to have another Wild Weasel shell already. So we're just going to go right for the convoy. I'm going to ignore him for a little while. It's all neutral shipping for the most part. So our scatter pack is ready to go. We'll use that to sort of get in on top of him once again. Phasers to overload as we get right on their stern. He has an anti-missile defense system, so it is something we're not going to really have an option to use. Please stop shooting me in the back. It's very unsportsmanlike. And can I get a missile, please? That'll kill him. Hi. You can shoot your plasma? There you go. Thank you. So now speed of time, because now we're actually in a fight. That's an S, that's a G, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, the other way around. So you've still got another G left available to you. I'd like you to not. So let's see if... There it is. Okay, so we've baited out all of his plasma at this point. Now we can actually start doing work. Phasers, just because we can. They're fine. Just set him directly to our stern, and we will take care of this. Probably is going to deal a pretty decent amount of damage to my shields, but that's perfectly alright, as long as he doesn't actually burn through. How much harder would Gorn be if they tried to track you before dumping plasma? A lot harder. They will do it, just not consistently. So the idea is that the tractor anchor, or the plasma anchor, is one of the best plasma strategies you can get. The AI just doesn't make a whole great use of it. So we're coming in for a full pass, and he knows it, and he's trying to cause as much damage as he can, skirmishing while his plasma torpedoes recharge. Yep, and he's running. You little jerk. I don't like it when they run. Because I'm here to initiate this engagement, sir. You're not allowed to get away. And I'm going to grab you. Hi, you and me. We're just going to have some fun here. And I'm going to see if I can't hold you for long enough in order to actually do this. Yeah, my phasers aren't ready to go. No, he let go. Can I grab him again? No, he's going to be able to Wild Weasel all of this. Or maybe not. Huh, that worked out. Okay, keep hitting him. Just everything. Do I want to be holding on to him? I'm not really sure. I think he's repairing that plasma torpedo, so maybe? It was ready. I think that, yeah, that shield is still intact and it's still there. Holy crap. So we're going to slow way down. That's a decent amount of forward shield reinforcement, right? Yes, it is. Good. And we're just going to keep the phaser fire going down. Because you're about to have a G-type plasma torpedo. Let him go. Let him go now. And save the charge. Because I have 2 Gatling phasers and I need enough power to use them. Because the Gatling phaser is one of the best weapons that you can use to just knock systems offline. It fires 4 times, so it gets to roll 4 times for disabling things. And we've knocked out pretty much all the systems that he would need for support. He's lost his S-type plasma torpedo. He lost the G-type plasma torpedo that he almost had ready. So that's got to be frustrating for him. So we'll come back around. We've got our heavy photon torpedo almost ready. Unfortunately, I think it's probably unloading. Because we needed a lot of power, and it is a huge power hog. Heavy photon torpedoes are kind of ridiculous in the amount of power that they require. All weapons select, because the heavy photon's ready to go. We're within range, so fire. Got him. Alright, so let's go take out these freighters. And increase the speed of time. And we'll burn on over there as fast as we can, just as soon as the phaser capacitors charge. Full power. That will allow us to charge our heavy photon torpedoes. We'll get on top of them, hopefully nail every single one of them, and move on. So I want that freighter in the front, just because he's possibly close to the edge. Oh yeah, he's really close to the edge. So more speed, more power. Come on. Let's get there quickly. Oh, this is going to be disappointingly close. And there's a missile.
Ready tractors.
Yeah, so we're just going to hold on to this for just a little bit. And I'm going to get basically right on top of you and nail you with every single one of my weapons, and hopefully that'll be enough to kill you. That was enough to kill you. Okay, good. Next target. You. Hi, Marines. I need you. Unfortunately, it takes 2 passes in order to actually take these guys with Marines. That's very unfortunate. And they're all bloody armored freighters. That is especially unfortunate. So I need more defensive systems. I can destroy the 3 freighters that would be required for me to lose, but the game doesn't quite hold the AI up to the same standard. Okay, you're dead. This is gonna hurt, but that'll be fine. You know, if of course I hit it, which I don't. He wanted to be Jack Sparrow. Who? We're coming around, and we might be able to get him. Him, on the other hand, oh, this is gonna be incredibly close. Full powered engines. Let's see if we can't just get up there in time. I want to be right on top of him as I pass through. Yeah, that's gonna hurt me the most. But come on, die, please. Okay, last one. Well, not last one, but the last one that's so close to the edge of the map that it may end up being a loss for me. But I have a way, I have a trick up my sleeve. I have a plan. Just need to get close enough to do it. Because the AI is a bit simple. And the AI panics. Come on, get closer, get closer, closer. There we go. Break off. So he is now set to an emergency avoidance maneuver for that mine. Get back to my view, please. Thank you. Which causes him to turn completely away from the edge of the map. So I have a very, very narrow opportunity to zip back in here. In fact, high energy turn this. We don't have time to be playing this game. Full power. Get the bow back on. Phasers are almost ready. I'm so tempted to just double in the engine at this point. I'm gonna lay a mine in front of him if I can. See if I can't get that angle right. So, all weapon select. Phasers are mostly good. Hit him. Hit him. And mine. And you. Come on, kill him before the mine. Before the mine. He's traveling at mine speed. Okay, we got him. And that pushes him into his avoidance maneuver. And us right to the edge of the map. But I can now activate a Strength 2 holding beam. Which, while it will not stop him, it will help. So, okay, Strength 1 holding beam, I guess. Hi, Marines. Hit and run. And your target is that. I'll open up his shields. Okay, we got it. He cannot disengage from us anymore. That was close. So we'll just systematically break him. He will no longer be able to avoid what we're doing. We do need to go home to repair, but what else is new? they have done a remarkable amount of damage to us. Although, to be fair, we are fighting actual proper factions instead of other pirates, and so they hit a little bit harder for their class. You had one phaser that, according to my list, is currently stunned, and you still managed to hit me with it. Some spicy tactics. Well, we don't normally do convoy assaults because I'm not a huge fan of them. Because this one's gonna flip out. Okay, we've got Gravemind who thinks it'll happen. I think he's just jinxed us. But cross your fingers and hope. 358, and hey, got it. Nice. Nice call. Shipyard. I need a CA or an XCA if you got one. Because it's basically just a big version of what we're driving. There's none out there. Okay, restock the ship. Well, can you start calling into the future to make sure that we get all the tiles again? Because that would help reduce things. Alright, up to here. We've got, well, several more. Oh, we've got so many. So many! 3 more up here. Take the patrol. It's the only patrol we've got. See if we can't just immediately nuke somebody. Maybe we'll get a couple of patrols against freighters again. Those are always fun. We're being escorted today by the Jayahart. It looks like the Romulans have decided to help us out here. And they're sending out one of the Klingon E3s with us. Cute. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any actual offensive weapons. He's got 2 D-type plasma torpedoes for point defense, and then he's also packing an additional 4 Phaser X's, which, that's not exactly significant in terms of firepower. Full speed of time. Also, as long as we're here, we may as well set up a scatter pack. And a Wild Weasel, just to be fair. There's our target. Okay, game, that's just not cool. That's beyond uncool. Heavy photon torpedoes. Electronic countermeasure, please. To maximum. Slow down the speed of time, just briefly, so I can figure out what sort of power requirements we need here. And attack shift of 0. Heavy photon torpedoes to proximity mode. Open fire. And turn away. 1 hit. Lovely. And ECM systems, what he's currently packing. Not very significant. Set it back down to 0, really, since he's not actually going to do anything about it. So our first scatter pack is ready. Reminds me of our first mission in today's World Tech video. Heavy cruiser versus heavy cruiser. This is not a heavy cruiser. Jayahart is a K4D. That makes it an E3 version. A bird of prey. And we are an X-type destroyer. He is an FHK. He's a Firehawk cruiser. There is no equality there. That's not parity at all. Also, he didn't even fire all of his plasma torpedoes there. He's about to have a plasma S torpedo ready to go shortly. So this is just gonna suck on several levels. Photon torpedoes to normal, please. That way I don't forget. Hi. This is gonna hurt. You know what? I have mines too. Let's play mines. And do I have my system ready? I do. Hi, I'm holding on to you. And I'm punching through your defenses here. Unfortunately, we are a little bit too close. Because... oh, crap, I shouldn't have done that. We're a little bit too close because I can't use my missiles. Oh, we held him just long enough. I was expecting him to break free, but he didn't. Hi, I am now opposing you with my heavy photon torpedoes, which just did a number on you, sir. So we are through, and we are holding on to him. At this point, I really kind of wish that I had more, well, more scatter packs to use. Let's start slowly turning around, see if I can't get my Gatling phasers on target again. More damage. We gotta watch very carefully to see how much power he's currently stacking, because the closer these plasma torpedoes get to shooting, the closer it comes to the time that we just gotta let him go. Big ship versus big fancy ship. Firehawk cruiser is one of the top-of-the-line Romulan cruisers. So, I don't think we can talk down to it too much. Alright, let him go, boys. And he's decloaking right now. Perfect. Pull on through, pull on through. Get away from those incoming plasma torpedoes. Alright, we got our distance going on here. We've knocked out most of his shields. That's definitely very nice. Dealt a pretty significant amount of damage. And that plasma torpedo went... wow, that's pretty far off angle. This is gonna suck. Point defense systems managed to defend a little bit, but not as much as I kind of hoped. Because the Gatling phasers weren't ready to fire. Wow, the phaser capacitor is fully charged? Really? Pop a couple of missiles. We're going to circle around this mine and come in towards the stern. He's doing 14 and climbing, so he's not hurt too badly. A little bit, but not too badly. He's lost most of his energy, his phaser armament. Still has most of the rest of his energy armament, the plasma torpedoes. And my heavy photons are pretty much ready to go. Yes, they are. Okay, so we've got an opportunity to do a nice little heavy photon torpedo strike on somebody. Oh, come on, J.R. Get me within range for heavy photon torpedo strike. Well, technically we're in range. Hey, we got one good hit. Phasers, make sure they're set to overload. And pass. Got him. So by giving us that opportunity of like 2 turns where he was just sitting there under cloak while we bombarded him, yeah, that's the reason why we were able to take out one of the better top-of-the-line Romulan heavy cruisers with a destroyer. And didn't take the tile. Unfortunate. Keep popping around. A surprise reversed. Do we beat up on people who can't fight back? Maybe that'll actually cause the tile to come to us. It's 2340, by the way. 2340 is, well, you'd expect us to see some dreadnoughts, but did not happen. The Passion Flower is now with us on this one. He is a pirate vessel and not particularly well armed, but hey, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Oh, looks like we're fighting a whole bunch of Romulan vessels currently offline. Looks like there's a single light cruiser. Yeah, he's a destroyer. But the game classifies him as a light cruiser for reasons beyond, well, anyone's true understanding. So we'll wait for our phase capacitor to fully charge, and we'll get up to maximum speed. We're also going to prepare a scatter pack, which I like to hold scatter packs in reserve, but I'm probably going to have to use it just to make sure that I kill everybody here. We have a short, limited period of time where we can absolutely murder everybody on the map. And if we don't take that period of time, well, we'll probably lose. See if I can't get a little salvo stacked up. We'll call it sort of our own little personal version of a scatter. Holy, wow, you are Klingons. I was wrong. So they're not Romulans, they're Klingons. And we can tell that because they have AMDs. So that's pretty significant. These are set to overload, right? Hopefully. Still haven't penetrated his defenses. But we've almost got him. There we go. Okay, so the first of him is down. Hi, you. Passing through. And you also have a defensive weapons system, so that's going to make things a little bit more difficult to try and shove a scatter pack down your throat. But a heavy photon torpedo can just nail you. Alright, almost got him down. Just need the Gatling phasers to finish him off. And we've got 2 more. Got a G2 and an E3CR. The E3CR is probably the easier of the 2 targets, but he's on the path already, so we may as well go for him. Okay. Say no more, we'll go for the G2R. He's a gunship. He has 2 missile launchers in addition to his fairly weak phaser element. Nailed him. Alright, so a random Klingon task force on the wrong side of the galaxy has been dealt with. Will that be enough for the game to reward us with a tile flip? I hope so. Oh, we just want to burn our way through this campaign already. Nope. Didn't care. Did not care in the slightest. Convoy escort. I don't understand this. I do not understand how this the Orion cartel defense works. We have been through 13 full seasons now at this point playing this game, and I still don't understand how the Orions are actually supposed to take territory. Oh. Now, we still have the scatter pack, which will be lovely. Let's get ourselves up to speed, and luckily we're only fighting a single heavy cruiser instead of being pincered, which will make things relatively simpler. So we'll just dive on top of them and nail them with all our heavy weapon systems. Think the plan. Do you have a character in mind for Starburst when she reaches 1200 days? Nope. I'm gonna play it by ear. That's generally how I do it. So I will get in there that day and I will look through things a little bit in advance, and then I'll sort of get an idea as to which portrait I want to use. I've thought about doing someone from Clan Liao, but I also realize I haven't done a clan race, but I'd kind of prefer not to do clans to start with, just because, well, I'm going to be introducing myself to a brand... Oh, you have an idea. I'd love to hear it. But the one reason why I'm not super psyched about the clans is there's going to be a lot of systems to learn in the newest version of Rogue Tech, so I don't kind of want to throw myself into fighting the clans from the start. Clan Liao. House Liao. Clan Liao would be pretty hilarious. Alright, so we've got 4 missiles. That should be enough to get him started with trying to deal with what we're about to throw at him. And he does have a point defense system. That is unfortunate. should not have done that. Oh, hi. There's that. There's also that, which means you do not have a wild weasel. So let's turn back in on him. What if Punisher wasn't killed in one of the attacks, and what if he survived, took a break, tried to get... Isn't that the plot that we currently have going in Sledge's Hammer? I'm pretty sure we decided that that was Sledge's Hammers. Because it was the same voice call, and we decided he wore the beard for that. I'm not against it, I just think that was sort of something we did. Alright, so we have a good opportunity to do a lot of damage to the Gambler here. All weapon select, wait for the attack shift to go away. Hi, we're point blank range. Oh, both heavy photon torpedo managed to nail him with that one, so we are through his stern defenses. I thought you were the one who came up with that. Somebody came up with that. It wasn't me. But somebody had the suggestion, and I thought it was fantastic, and that's how we ended up doing that. I thought it was you. Alright, so we are still under attack from multiple slow missiles, but I'm not super concerned because slow missiles. And apparently our freighters are all equipped with point defense systems, which that makes things a heck of a lot easier. I'm not going to shoot here. I don't see the point. I'm going to wait for a good angle here, which we are about to have. Oh, it's going to be a tight high energy turn. Bring it around. Hi! I bet you did not expect that one. Hey, 55 damage with the phasers, and we started knocking out his point defense tractors. It was Mavrin that came up with the idea. Well, just because I thought Punisher got a raw deal that day, no, didn't watch Sledge's Hammers until you were deep in the campaign. Yeah, it's... I think if we were to... like, I like the idea, I really did, because it was a great idea when Mavrin came up with it. The thing is, we've done it. So maybe we'll keep it in mind for a later campaign, but I think the next campaign will have to be something a little bit different. But yeah, great minds think alike, and you and Mavrin had the same idea. It's just that we had it applied to Sledge's Hammers. We've decided that he has gone incognito, sneaking and hiding amongst other mercenary groups so that he could create his own thing. Hey, we did cartel defense to that one, so everything's down to 5 or below at this point. MET-6 patrol. Not one we do very often. Just because it just doesn't come up. And we are, I believe, yeah, we are out of shuttles at this point, so we must fight as it comes, which could be a little bit unfortunate. Let's get our phasers to overload, and in fact, you know what? Let's overload the heavy photon torpedoes. Hey, it's a single light cruiser. Okay, we're just gonna sit here a little while. Okay, we can go now. We have the power. So, yeah, we have a single Gorn vessel. We will have overloaded heavy photon torpedoes, which will be excellent. And reinforce the forward shield to the maximum power. You're a pseudo-frigate tender, which is unfortunate on several levels. And slowing down the speed of time is something I can actually manage. You have a lot. Okay, so... you. And then you. And that's 4 of them. Wow. You are, wow, really well equipped with pseudo-frigates. We can actually get up to full speed. Excellent. Okay, so we're safe here, relatively. We can get up to our maximum speed. You only got 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, so while it is very dangerous that you have these vessels that we must worry about, it's doable. Dealable. And missile strike. Kill. Kill. And kill. And other one, please. Thank you there. It's -4 at the moment. Yeah, it's... I'm not entirely sure, actually. Let me check real quick. What is the weather? Oh, you survived the missile strike. It is -1 where I am. So it has been quite chilly these days. Well, today. Oh, not a lot of fun. You are destroyed. Oh, wow, both of them actually survived. That's very unfortunate. You're also doing a speed of 31? Okay, interesting. 11 p.m.? Yeah, it's not that late for me. It's, well, 5:54. So, missile off over on you, and you are basically mine. Because you've wasted your shots. And now I get to annihilate you with everything that I have.
Helm, rapid turn now.
Compared to everyone else that's balmy. What temperature is it for you, Raider? Oh, 7 above 0. Oh, we hit him with both! We hit him with both! Oh, that's beautiful. Well worth losing my half shield. Both heavy photon torpedoes nailed him in overload mode. We just hit him with the force of almost 70 damage. 64. But that's a lot of damage to throw on somebody. I can't believe both of them hit. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Alright, let's get back on course over here and hit him with the rest of the phasers. He's doing a speed of 8. Yeah, he's having trouble now. We got a piece of that engine. So he's trying to shoot down the missiles and failing even better. There he goes. He finally gets one. So we managed to destroy his pseudo-frigates. We managed to get basically an entire strike worth on him. I don't know if your plasma torpedoes are almost ready. They are not, okay. So let's just get right here. Oh, just fry all the systems. All the systems destroy. Gatling phaser? Nah, a little bit too far. He's down to 0 power. Yeah, we've got him.
High energy turn.
Let's see if this breaks us down. We've got an 88% chance of making it work. It's 46 here and everyone's complaining about freezing. Welcome to the stream, Simbri. Yeah, there are some parts of this country who just do not understand what actual cold is. Alright, let's pull right up in front of him and say good night. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Alright, so will this actually take the tile? That's the thing we're fighting. We don't know if we'll take the tile. That's the frustrating thing about this campaign. I don't hey, we did. Good. Excellent. I don't really mind having to fight my way through the enemy. I mind not knowing if I'm doing a good job or not. So, quick check. Oh, there's the XCA we've been looking for. Bye. Supply. Goodbye, Mistress of Pain. Ace of Spades, welcome back to the table. It's nice to have you once again. We're going to fully equip this. We may as well. Because I believe this ship has everything that the Ace of, or that the Mistress of Pain has, except a couple more. Yeah, we've got 20 missiles. Well, maybe. It'll be interesting. We're going to spend a lot in order to fully outfit this ship, but that's perfectly fine. And the best way to figure out what your new ship does is to go fight somebody. No mission. There we go, a mission. Convoy escort. So let's figure out exactly what this vessel is actually capable of.
All hands on deck.
Oh, wow. That's... What? What are you? Oh my god. That is... I don't even know how to describe that. Wow. That is some... yeah. Okay, everybody say hello to our brand new advanced heavy cruiser. We are equipped with 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, 2 heavy photon torpedoes, 2 fast-firing C-racks, and 8 phaser X's and 2 Gatling phasers. Yes, this apparently is very much a thing. Well, it gives new meaning to uglies. Now, the one downside is we can't just nimbly move at maximum speed anymore, so that does kind of hurt us a little bit. Are you cloaking? Oh no, you're cloaking. The free trader is cloaking. Let's get our forward shield reinforced to a fairly decent level. And also prep a tractor beam, because I think I just want to grab onto him and nail him. Wow, you are aggressive for a freighter, Captain. Just firing photon torpedoes. The robo-ant. Firing and cloaking. That is very efficient of you. Unfortunately, we have no fighters. Kinda sucks, but we shall manage. If I can grab another tractor beam, that's all that matters. So once I've got him in my tractor beam, I will just basically annihilate him. Hey, he fired his fusion cannon at maximum range, but he tried, which is more than I can say for most. Grab onto him. We've got him. I would like to activate this mine so that I can fire my missiles in peace. Scourge, shut off the missiles. Fire everything. Hey, we've hit him quite nicely. Oh, I forgot to overload my phasers because I want to cause as much damage as possible. We do have a couple of missile launchers, but if I fire them, it's inevitably things will work out poorly. We're waiting for the mine to explode. Okay, fire the missiles. Oh yeah, I didn't set them up as hardpoint 4. Let's do that now. Fire the missiles. Lovely. Heavy photon torpedoes will be on 2. The plasma torpedoes will be on Am I selecting things? On 3, thank you kindly. Let's shut off the waypoint system. Missiles away. Almost away. So we have our brand new... I don't know what this thing is. Normally the X-Type heavy cruisers look cool, but the Pirate X-Type heavy cruiser just looks like it has a problem. Some pretty significant and severe problems. Oh, knocked out most of his rear shielding, and he will be able to get that. Maybe not. This may actually get to him. Wow, your point defense is pretty impressive, actually. So we've knocked out most of his actual aft shield. And I'd like to cause even more damage to him, which we're doing a decent job of. Alright, so we've got him mostly handled. Couple more missiles, and maybe we'll actually get something through on this one. Nope, not quite, but he is having to be forced to hold it in tractor beam. Come on. Plasma torpedoes are about half a turn from being ready to go. That'll be just a significant amount of firepower. Unfortunately, they're not needed. Well, fortunately, they're not. Fortunately, they're needed? Not needed? Yeah, that worked out. So the brand new Robo-Ant, which, yeah, that's a thing. 288 prestige, and a tile taken. Lovely. Alright, so we're down to 5 tiles. Can we finish 5 tiles in another hour? Of course. An anomaly mission. Why wouldn't it be the anomaly mission?
All hands on deck.
Let's get ourselves ready to rock. Actually, what is our base cruising speed with charging all weapon systems? Because I feel it's actually pretty significant. Yeah, that's not bad. That is not half bad at all. Phasers set to overload. We are being escorted today by the Doom Cut and the Broadsword. So working with the ISC on this one. Pretty deep in Romulan territory. But hey, not going to complain. If the ISC wants to subjugate them, I'm perfectly okay with that for now. But you were ISC, weren't you? Oh, no, you're not. I must have seen it. No, no, you can't. This mission said so. Yeah, basically. It's just... I hate this mission. This is one of the missions that I legitimately do not like. Because, well, we're just going to lose engine power. I could remove it. I should remove it. I should have removed it for our Hydron campaign, but I didn't. Because it wasn't sporting to do something like that. We'll open fire with a couple of missiles, see if we can't get both of them on target, and hopefully that will cause him to try and defend against it. Speaking of which, I should probably launch a probe. Because all of the Pirate X-type vessels have probes, unlike all the other pirate vessels. So, heavy photon torpedoes are ready to go. F-type plasma torpedoes are half upcharged. And what sort of defenses are we dealing with here? 2 B-type anti-missile defense systems. So these missiles are going to do a grand total of absolutely nothing. Not quite even sure why I'm firing them at this point. Got to wait until his defenses are mostly down. Hey, the anomaly mission has kicked in, and we have lost all power. So, there's that. Time to sit back, relax, and, chill. While we wait for the game to decide that you are allowed to do things again. On the bright side, maybe we'll be able to get into range with them. We're unloading our heavy photon torpedo, we're unloading our plasma torpedoes, and yeah, you have more than enough point defense to be able to handle this. Well, you missed, so there's that working for us. So just gotta sit and wait. Just increase the speed of time. We're waiting, and waiting. Hey, we have power again, full power! Recharge all the systems. Will we actually be able to get into range? Who knows? But we're gonna find out shortly. Point defense system handling everything perfectly well. We're almost within range of you. Let's get up here for the engineers. Hi, Josh. Yes. So, we are within range. I'd like to fire everything. Oh, I'd like to fire everything at your stern, actually. Oh, the heavy photon torpedoes are not actually charged because we lost power the moment I fired. God. This mission is bad. The person who decided to make it should feel bad. My point defense system's getting involved. His point defense system's getting involved. Oh, a whole bunch of photon torpedoes. There's that. As we sit here. And sit here. Oh. This mission is the worst. Okay, when I was about to say maybe epicenter, but this is close. Can you borrow some of the salt? I don't know. Can you handle this mission in order to get it? Alright, let's recharge the system. The heavy photon torpedoes were able to get involved in that one, but I'd like to get the F-type plasma torpedoes away if at all possible. There goes one. It's time to turn. Let's be aggressive. I want a full turn like it's nobody's business. Got him. You are the worst subspace anomaly ever. But now that we've dealt with that, we can move on to other things. So hopefully the tile's taken. Hopefully the tile is taken and we can move on to other things. Exactly, that's why you get the salt. So, 500 minus 20 for reasons. And the tile's gone. Lovely. Oh, we're almost through. We're almost through the northern... Through that northern fight. It's almost done. We'll take an MET-17 patrol, see if that does something. It is technically a pirate patrol, so maybe that'll work in our favor? I have no idea. Check to see if there's anything broken on the ship. There is not. Wonderful, so we got out of that mission relatively intact. There was no lasting damage to the engine because of their bull. And I'm going to set up a scatter pack just in case. You never quite know what you're about to run into. It could be Romulans, really, is what I'm worried about. I suppose Gorn 2 and the ISC, but Romulans. Let's be honest, Romulans are the most dangerous and terrifying race in this galaxy. Ugh. Having to actually fight them would be very hard. I'm going to have to rewatch Balance of Terror at some point. Alright, so let's increase the speed of time since we're just chilling. Hey, there's our enemy. It is a pirate heavy cruiser. Send the probe. Find out exactly what sort of pirate heavy cruiser we're actually dealing with. Get the forward shield to a reinforcement value of something. And it's not the exact same ship that we ran into last time, but it's decent. So our first scatter pack is ready. Our Wild Weasel is worthless, so we'll prep up another scatter pack to go along with things. And I'm kind of tempted just to fire a couple of missiles, mainly to see if I can't fire enough missiles to get him to stop. He has doubled his engine. Interesting strategy. I'm going to see what you handle with this one. So, and then I'm going to follow up with a missile, or I was going to follow up with a missile strike. Because you stopped. Yep, you're going to lose now. Okay, so your shuttlers are dead. Phasers set to overload.
High energy turn.
Prepare for the high energy turn. We have all weapon systems ready to go. Perfect. Lovely. Get me right on target. So we've got him. He's dead. He doesn't even realize it. He's just dead. Hi. I am very much surprised that your point defense system lasted long enough. Well, wow, that hurt pretty considerably, actually. So, there's that. Shuttle bay is not yet ready. Unfortunate. Because I'd like to dump a scatter pack on him. So, basically, he did to us what we did to him, except we had more firepower to do that to him, so he's not having a good day, as you might imagine. You don't want to fix anything? Well, in that case, maybe we should just start breaking things on the ship to give you a job. No lollygagging on this vessel. And I don't want to give you a shot at my stern, so I'm just going to slow down and see if you'll pass right in front of me. If you turn into me, I'll annihilate you, but... yeah, sure, why not? Let's open you up. Open you up like a can of Spam. Get the Gatling phasers on. Oh no, the Gatling phaser is a 360 mount? Really? Oh, that's nice. We have a 360 Gatling. 360 Gatling is best Gatling, because it allows you to have just a ridiculous amount of firepower anywhere. It's one of the reasons why the Federation Heavy Carrier is astonishingly scary. Because if you get in close with it, it's got like 2 or 4 Gatling phasers on a 360-degree mount. The thing is just nuts. And when it hits you, oh, it's like getting hit by a ton of bricks. Turbo 4 is not looking so good. Well, we appear to have most of the system involved, most of the ship intact. And his ship is not intact. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. You may want to get that looked at. I hear that's not good. I don't think the warranty will cover that one either. Let's see how many prestige that'll be worth. Shouldn't be all that much. Really, that was a little bit... yeah, 272 is not bad, but it's not great. But that's the North. Oh, switching ships apparently was the best strategy ever because we just keep taking tiles by using it. Let's pop in here and say hello supplies. Let's restock. We're almost done. Oh, we're close to being done with the campaign, and then we can move on to the next campaign. By the way, have you guys been thinking about what the next campaign should be? All options are on the table, so if we want to see, like, Klingons or something, we can totally do that. I'll take the patrol, because it's straight up easy. So while the mainline campaign has fairly strict rules as to what factions we're allowed to play at what times, the stream campaign, anything is open. The only limitation that I'm going to say is I don't want to do another pirate campaign. Not for a while. No, Josh, you can go away. We're not doing that. A Federation campaign. I'm definitely on board with a Federation campaign for a couple of reasons. One, for some reason, my streams show up really high in the search results whenever I look for Starfleet Command, because yes, I check these things on occasion. I'm a nerd. So, if you see a Federation starship, you're more likely to understand what that looks like. That is a cool looking ship. You are maybe the only person who has ever thought that, Sean, but I appreciate your politeness, your niceness. I'm not sure what to say. I suppose there's no accounting for taste, so there is that. We are fighting a single light cruiser. Let's set ourselves up with... We'll go with the full scatter pack and Wild Weasel, because we are fighting the Gorn this time. We know for a fact that is who we're dealing with. And actually, I'm going to say heavy photon torpedoes, overload that. I just want to see what we can do with heavy photon torpedoes combined with plasma torpedoes. I think it'll be an interesting amount of interesting combination. Simmons, welcome to the stream, and Simmons has voted for Federation. That's 2 votes for Federation and 1 vote that don't count. So... let's charge in on this cruiser. Oh, heavy photon torpedoes are definitely going to be ready in time. That'll be lovely. The Gorn are about to have a very, very bad day. I forgot to mention, we're being escorted by the Doom Cut once again. I looked at him, and I don't think I actually said it. So we'll get ourselves up for a nice, juicy amount of damage now that we've remembered that plasma torpedoes actually work. Josh has changed his vote from not applicable to the Klingons. So we've got 1 for Klingons and 2 for Federation. Will anybody join any of these factions or join a new one? So let's line up on you. I'm going to fire my pseudo-plasma torpedoes at you, followed up by missiles to hopefully take care of the defenses that he will throw up against the pseudo-plasma torpedoes, saving us a phaser, and then annihilate him. Scatter pack is ready, so we can dump that on top of him. So let's select our pseudos, fire the pseudos, and also the missiles. Oh, crap. Yeah, we're gonna stop. We're both gonna stop. Yeah, he's got way more plasma than I do. He has significant more plasma than me. Whoever but focus on carriers, can you sustain fighter losses in long term? Yeah, we can. We've done it before. We had a Federation carrier campaign, and I think we had an ISC carrier campaign going at one point. Simbry's on board with the Klingons as well. Oh, you clever jerk. Oh, he used his brain. The AI is not supposed to do that. Alright, let's just make him regret ever existing. 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, he got hit by both of them. Oh, all the marks have been left here. And we will dump out the scatter pack just to make his life that much more painful. Either that or something with PF tenders. So we've got 3 for Federation. And then Thornbush wants carriers. Simbry's on board with Klingons, so that's 2 for Klingon, 3 for Klingons with Mavrin. So we're at 3 for 3 at this point. And Sean has voted for the Remans, who we could do. I'm not sure what we would consider it. Yeah, Simbry's keeping track. There we go. So, yeah, we have a stalemate between the Klingons and the Federation. It seems quite appropriate. And then the Remans. I think we've got the chromatic on. This captain was wily and intelligent. That's why he had to die. Seriously, saving the R-type plasma torpedo? I don't know if that was just a matter of the AI was being too aggressive with the engine and didn't fully charge it in time, but that worked out quite nicely for him. We took an entire R-type plasma torpedo to the face. The Tholians! Yes, the Tholians! Let's go play Starfleet Command 1. No. And set ourselves up. We're just going to restock the ship a little bit. We did take a little bit of damage on that one. So he did manage to do something. More shuttles. We're almost there. 3 more tiles between us and the next campaign. So let us dive on top of the enemy and cause all the damages. I could get my coin and flip it to see which one if we don't get someone to break the stalemate. Although there, according to YouTube, there's 11 people in chat. So 3, 6, 7, 8. So 3 of y'all have not voted yet. So y'all should get in on this. Because this action is like no other. I'm going to set the heavy photon torpedoes to overload because they have just been ridiculously accurate and I'm not sure why. Not complaining, but I'm not sure why. Thornbush votes for the Feds as well. We are up to 4 Feds, 3 Klingons, a Gorn who is also voting for... Who is it? You voted for... Who's also voting for the Klingons, and the Remans, which has been changed. So the Federation is in the lead by 1 vote. We have an enemy target. It is a heavy cruiser. Are you a Romulan heavy cruiser or a Klingon one? Well, judging by the color and the bird pattern, we're looking at a Romulan heavy cruiser, which is unfortunate because Romulan heavy cruisers are fast and they hit like Mack trucks, and that's something you really don't want to have to deal with. Let's get the speed going because we're going to need to outrun some plasma torpedoes. It's going to be ugly. Slow down so we can make sure that we're charging our heavy photon torpedoes. Very important thing to do. And also, the other fun thing about Romulan heavy cruisers that are of the Klingon design is that they unfortunately have D-type plasma torpedoes. And that'll be difficult to work with. Probe away! Let's send a probe, and also increase our speed until we get ourselves up to our maximum speed, because we're going to need it to outrun some plasma. So we're going to stay at distance, finish setting up all the systems, although the heavy photon torpedoes are about to be charged. Oh, never mind. It's a KREX. He's got nothing. Wow, this is just a really terrible vessel in general. I feel kind of bad for the captain who was assigned to the ship, because he's got to try and make it work the best he can, but at the end of the day, he's got 2 F-type plasma torpedoes. Yeah. Well, at least he's not driving a freighter. There is that going for him, so I can't feel too bad for him. Because clearly he hasn't managed to anger anybody that much. Alright, and let's fire the pseudos. Oh, that was only one pseudo. That's unfortunate. Maybe the missile will convince him to activate a Wild Weasel. I doubt it, but maybe. No, he did not kill it. Phasers, dealing a little bit of damage. If you're going to turn away from me, I'm going to see if I can... We had the same idea. We had the exact same idea. Though this I will count as a wily captain. If he's thinking like me, then he must be. We're probably going to tank his fire. At the end of the day, we do match each other with the amount of plasma torpedo fire. Hey, we got one hit. And we've knocked out most of his fences. And there's his Wild Weasel. And we'll get just a little bit away, and... Goodbye. You're dead. Actually, no, maybe not. He's a heavy cruiser, so 6 additional missile strikes to the back may not actually kill him. Keep the turn going. We need to make sure. And will you explode? Well, you managed to miss the dramatically appropriate time to explode. Let's make sure those photon torpedoes are back to normal, because they're taking a lot of power. More missiles. All the missiles. Ah, missiles. You are the best weapon system in the game. Unfortunately, there's a lot of counters to you as well, so... You're the most countered weapon system in the game, too. Kind of hurts your utility a little bit. So, missiles will go right on in. He's quite badly damaged. Let's see if the phasers can finish him off. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, they can. Because the phasers are wonderful. Let's see what sort of reward we're going to get for that. Hopefully, we will get a tile. All I want for Christmas is more tiles. Ah, we got it! So, the solution was clearly to change ships. Because now, every single time that we're moving on, we're grabbing them, and while we were in the destroyers, we were not. Maybe that's related to something. Huh, I wonder. We do have a DCR off here, who is an enemy pirate vessel, so we're just going to go right in on him. Photon torpedoes to overload. I'm really liking this open up with overloaded photon torpedoes. I think it's quite fun. And we'll increase the speed of time. You are a double-hulled raider, so there is that working for you. And send the probe. Found out exactly what it is we're getting involved with. And as we get up to speed, we will then buff the forward shields. Yeah, you're screwed. Oh, buddy. I'm not even going to prep a scatter pack against you. You are just screwed. I'd say G2s are the best weapons in this, but I might be a little bit biased. Oh, the missile is so much more flexible, though. Like, G2s are cool, and it's nice to have a Gatling phaser that you can... What the heck is that? I'm just looking at something on this. Oh, it's the numbers. I get it, just because my screen is small. Missile best weapon in the game with the most counters. Plasma torpedoes. Plasma torpedoes are not the best weapon in the game. They are too short range to be considered the best weapon in the game. I'm sorry, but they're not. They simply do not stack up. Because you can outrun a plasma torpedo. You can fake a plasma torpedo with the greatest of ease, but you don't have nearly as many ways of shooting it down like you do a missile. But no, because of the short range of plasma torpedoes, they're not the best weapon in the game. Not by a long shot. Well, okay, they're probably the second best weapon. Oh, Hellbores. Hellbores are really good too. Super flexible. But no, best weapon in the game, definitely missiles. Hands down. So, I think I've got you. Yeah, you took both of those hits. You're having a bad day. And all of that. Yeah. Let's see if I can avoid taking too much damage on the rear shield and thus, you know, dying. Wow, you almost got through my rear shield, but you didn't, and so I did not die. Well, that's a shame on you. Counter missile fire back and forth. Alright, let's see. Keep firing the phasers. We have more than he does, although maybe not necessarily in this arc compared to him. Fusion cannons are the best. Oh, fusion cannons. You are such a fun weapon that the AI uses so horribly. They're not a bad weapon, they really aren't. They're a fantastic knife fighter, and they've got one of the more interesting charge mechanics in the game because they have the cooldown turn rather than the recharge for 2 turns. So it actually gives you quite a few options. Okay, I'm gonna deal with you straight up here. Can't say I've ever really found the short range to be much of a detriment. Oh crap, the ship broke down. I'm thinking it also goes. Well, now you're not talking about the weapon system, now you're talking about a playstyle. And I will agree that the Romulans have the most powerful playstyle in the game. Hands down, the fact that you can cloak and get on top of somebody. But you can deal with plasma torpedoes.
Defensive tractors.
So. Yeah, plasma torpedoes, they're good. They're not the most amazing. They simply aren't. Don't get me wrong, I like them, but missiles are better. Phaser 2, best weapon. Phaser 2 may objectively be the worst weapon in the game. Do you want the firepower of a Phaser 1, except not as much, for the exact same power consumption? Do I have a weapon for you? Oh, such a sad set. Well, the thing about the Phaser 2, though, is it's literally the weapon from the last war. So when you think about it, it's like saying... It's like comparing... God, what would it be? Because I kind of want to say Civil War rifles, but it's not. World War I rifles versus World War II rifles. That's kind of the comparison that you'd have to make between the Phaser 2 and the Phaser 1. Oh, the Phaser 1's so good. I think statistically the Phaser 3 is the best damage to power, although that might be the Phaser G that's the best damage to power. Okay, here it is, the last tile. We could take a salvage mission for it. No, I won't do that. Alright, so right now the count is 3 Klingon, 4 Federation, 1 Romulan, and 1 Gorn, but that Gorn was also a Klingon boat. So, if we beat this, and that happens, the Federation will be the next faction, and hopefully I reset my Federation settings so we're not in the Dreadnought, because not sure I did that or not. Let's get our ship systems prepared, because we took a pretty nasty hit from that missile. And it was a missile that did that. Alright, fix everything, and also stop. And, well, we may as well overload the photon torpedo. And we'll increase the speed time, so we'll just sit here and repair. And engines. Oh, we're fighting the Gorn, how lovely. Set up Scatterpack, set up a Wild Weasel. We're just gonna sit here for a little while and fix all the things. Oh, it's this mission.
Repairing warp drive.
Interesting problem. It's a Gorn battlecruiser. Oh god. This could get ugly. This could get ugly fast. Let's just go away. You know what? You guys can fight. I'm okay with that. I will allow you two to do battle. And then we're gonna come in from behind and nail them with every single hit. I think he heard us. Let's pull away, and more power to engines. Thank you. We'll drift away. They won't be able to stop us, and maybe they'll duel each other. Now, this is an SALX, so it's not exactly bristling with firepower, but if I can distract him with him so that he fires his R-type plasma torpedoes into the SALX first, that would be ideal. And that's my plan. I want to be clever on our last battle of this campaign. Almost took us nearly an hour and a half. Oh, should have switched to this ship sooner. Alright, SALX, hi. If you have fighters, now would be a good time to deploy them. We're gonna need them. You don't? Okay. So now they're both after me. Oh no, he's turned targets. Good. So fire your R-type plasma torpedoes, because I'm sure you got them. There you go. There you go. And you deployed your Wild Weasel. Oh, this could not have gone better. I'll bounce that, sure. So let's be a time. I do regret having that Gatling phaser fire in a defensive proximity mode, but hey, I'll work with it. So, yeah, I think I got a good angle. Give it a shot. Pirates working together. After all, thieves have got to stick together, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Come on, shoot down the missile. You did not shoot down the missile. This is proving to be rather unfortunate, actually. Missiles, get involved.
Defensive tractors.
I wonder what those weapon systems are supposed to be on an XCA's sides. Probably the heavy photon torpedoes, or would that be the center? Oh no, these would be the plasma torpedoes, I assume. And then these would be the heavy photons. And then, you know, you've got your outrigger phasers, the two over here. That's my guess. Heavy photons to normal mode, so they're not sucking up all the power for no apparent reason. You do have a fairly decent missile complement of 4 missiles. I don't have quite that many missiles. I'll be honest. You kind of outgun me when it comes to missiles. You are the missile king. However, with that said, I probably outgun you where it counts, which is I have 8 phasers and you don't. Unfortunately, you're also making it so I can't shoot you with my Gatling phasers, which the Gatling phasers are what will do the most damage. Okay, your shields are down. Lovely. Are you going to get your 2 phaser threes involved? Not quite. He's trying to shoot it down. He was not able to. Hi. Wow, that's unfortunate to be holding this many missiles at the exact same time. Can we let them go? And I'd like to be able to kill him, but we're not quite there yet. Although we've got most of his systems offline. Let's see if we can't just stay on his stern. If we stay on his stern and stay on top of him, he actually can't shoot his missiles. If he breaks away from the range of, I think it's 0.49 is the minimum missile launching distance, so that's why I'm trying to stay directly on top of him. Also because it'll mean that my phasers do the most amount of damage. So I hear Smoking Husk. Come on. You know you want to give your life so that we can go on to a better campaign. Almost there. Just gotta wait for a phaser to charge. What a thing to be stuck on. Come on, phaser, fire. There we go. Gatling phaser getting involved a little bit there as well. Okay, we're gonna do a hard turn and hope that this doesn't break down the ship. It shouldn't be able to. I believe we have a 100% chance. Got him. Alrighty, so if the tile flips, then we've got the pirate campaign finished, and we'll be moving on to, right now, Federations. So let's see what it is we have to deal with so far. That's the tile, and that's Prime Industries eliminated. They do not exist anymore. The Orion Pirate Cartel has finished them off completely. Lovely. So let's save, load. I doubt that it'll let me actually see the map that I want to see, but hey, we'll work with it. And from above, and these 2 tiles are only green because they are Romulan stations. So there we go, Prime Industries defeated. On to the next campaign. Alright, so the vote is right now 4 for Federation, 3 for Klingons, 1 for Gorn, and 1 for Romulan. And so, with that, it means that we start a brand new campaign as the Federation. So we'll set ourselves up to our max Admiral difficulty level and set the era to early and begin new campaign. And we're starting in the Dreadnought Antares. So I did not fix things from before. Are we okay with this, or should we sell as soon as we can? That is the question I pose to the chat. We have the dread ship, the Dreadnought Antares, which is huge. It's basically a super heavy cruiser. But maybe we want to start from the frigates. Let me know after the first battle that we fight, since I'll go along and do that. Yeah, you can mod some of the starter ships, and I had done so about 3 months ago? Longer? I did it because when Captain Foley of Trek Yard's fame started playing Starfleet Command 1, I wanted to show off Starfleet Command 2 because he was super psyched to see it, and I wanted to be able to show it off to people who wanted to see it too. And so I did a couple of introductory streams with the Federation Heavy Cruiser, which is the classic Constitution class, and with the Dreadnought. I feel like you should downgrade to something, maybe not a frigate though. Alright, we can definitely do that. So we'll just need to get enough cash to buy something cheap and cheerful. Although the only other option will be the Federation DD, which is the Saladin class, which, don't get me wrong, I like the DD. It's a fun ship. But wow, we are so fast. I forgot how this vessel works. It works wonderfully, by the way, in case you were wondering. You want to go down to frigates, Josh? We could do that. It's going to take a little while to get some cash for it, but we get to fight a heavy cruiser right from the get-go. And by the way, just to give anybody a shot who's never seen a Federation-class dreadnought, it is lovely. Just on so many levels. It's not my favorite dreadnought, but it is pretty good. All the gigantic deflector and communication dishes. These things really are fleet commanding vessels. Simmons wants to drop down to the derpy light cruiser. We can definitely do that. 3v3 frigates. And Josh wants... Oh, Josh wants a destroyer, not a frigate. Okay. We could go to a Saladin. Alright, so now that we've given ourselves a gorgeous little beauty pass to admire all the wonderful lines of this vessel, let's actually focus on this heavy cruiser that we're supposed to be killing. Photon torpedoes, I think we shall set to overload, as long as we have the time. Let's slow down a bit, make sure that we actually charge the weapon systems. Lovely. We're going to Starcastle up a little bit, not a huge amount, just slightly, and get our forward shield reinforcement going before he starts opening fire with disruptors, because those plinking weapons will be ugly. Alright, so... early era CL for the Federation is actually pretty good. Too bad it's derpy looking. Yes, it is. I agree 100%. This Federation CL is really solid. But it is really ugly. Now, I've actually seen... I was looking for Federation light cruisers one day on Google image search, and I've actually seen a really well-painted version of it that looks a lot nicer. But the one we have, the texture work on it is not amazing. And so it's rather unfortunate, actually. That dreadnought, yes, it is. It's a very sexy dreadnought, although not quite from direct behind. It's not its best angle. We've got an FD7, the Kolokos, and open fire with all the weapons. Let's just hit him. Alright, so able to defend against that and strike back quite nicely. Photon torpedoes, set them back to normal mode. And we'll also set our point defense systems to... oh, they're already active. Wonderful. Now, we are a little bit light on phasers. 10 phaser ones is not huge for a dreadnought, but you gotta remember that early dreadnoughts are essentially souped up heavy cruisers. They fill the same role as heavy cruisers, just at a longer range. So, you have the additional nacelle, you've got more stores on board, but really you've got the same heavy weapons complement as, well, basically a Federation CA, or even a CAR. His forward shields being out are very nice. Unfortunately, Phaser 1's not quite as effective and efficient as Phaser X's, but they should be enough. And he is pulling that forward shield away because he knew we didn't have a great shot on it, so he could pass through, although we should be able to get relatively close to him and nail the rest of his shields. He is a Klingon vessel, and Klingons, well, their rear shields and any aft shields, really. Oh, very, very clever of you. I, however, can outrun that, because like I said, I'm a souped-up heavy cruiser. And can I get a good angle here? Nope, the photon torpedoes are not going to be ready to go. And we can afford to shed a little bit of our shielding for our defense. It's very important. Photon torpedoes are ready to go, and he has knocked down our forward port side shield. Give me that angle. Did get that angle right onto his bow. And any sort of phasers, aft phasers opening fire, doing a little bit more damage. Steadily plinking through. Hey, Marines, how many? 14 plus 3 tractors? He's got 10. We're not there yet. We're working on it, but we're not there yet. And he has actually managed to destroy one of my Phaser 1s, which is pretty important to us. Disruptors going onto our strong aft shield, but we were also able to reply for 9 damage. Not too terrible at all. A little bit more damage coming off onto our aft shields again, but still, we're maintaining them. He has Phaser 2s, which we were talking about mostly a little while ago, so not exactly the most efficient damage dealers in the game. Our forward port side shield is back again, so we can make a turn on through. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now, because I think we have a brief window of opportunity before his disruptors will be available. Although, that opportunity is very, very narrow, because disruptors fire every single turn. They're very rapid-firing weapons. They're very efficient and powerful. Well, I can't say they're powerful. That's not true at all. They're very efficient weapons when it comes to plinking and sort of trying to skirmish with somebody, keep the damage on, like against a vessel like us, where we have several open shields. I'm waiting to see if I can't get all 4 photon torpedoes ready to go. And I could. Got 3 out of 4 hits. Not bad at all. 32 damage. He is doing a speed of 8, and we're probably going to take this damage a little bit, but if we share it with him, that'll totally be worth it. Did not have to. We'll pull on through. Aft phasers managed to get a little bit more damage onto him. We've knocked out most of his forward phaser array, as you can see. He's down to one of his 2 phaser 2, well, yeah, just 1 phaser 2 left, and both of his phaser 1s. I'm not quite sure where the angle on those phaser 1s is. His disruptors are also out, and by now he's run out of ammunition for his F launcher. The F-type missile launcher fires once every other turn, so it's, well, it's the worst launcher in the game. It's terrible, and there's a pretty decent number of Klingon vessels that have it. So we'll come in probably for a final phaser pass over here. This might kill him, although he is a heavy cruiser, so he might have enough shields in order to handle what we're about to dish out onto him. So shields are good, and nailing him quite heavily as we pass on through. We're going to get our aft phaser involved. Knock down that rear shield? Not quite, but we've almost got it destroyed. So we've got him mostly handled. Marines, we're dealing with 6. Let's see if we can't get that a little bit lower. Now, we could go for just a full attempt to board and capture things, but I don't want to spend the additional time. I'm just going to continue to blaze away with the phasers until we've got a good chance on here. Now, he's down to a single anti-missile defense system and a single phaser 2 that's on the other side of the ship. And, of course, his little mine that is out here in the middle of nowhere. So I don't... Well, let's try it. We're going to set our photon torpedoes to proximity mode. That will reduce the damage and increases their accuracy. Did a decent amount of damage there. How many Marines are we left to? 5? We'll give it a shot. Weapons officer. Aim to disable only. And that'll remove the potential for us to utterly destroy the ship. So we no longer can use photon torpedoes, but we also can't destroy the vessel anymore. We're more likely to knock out systems and kill Marines. Well, 3 versus my 4, we've automatically won. So let's just increase the speed of time. It's a burning hulk of a ship, but hey, it's gonna be ours. And our Federation Dreadnought did take a little bit of damage on that, but hey, we should be mostly alright. He does have that single phaser 2 left, so we're going to try and hold a little bit out at range. It's not a very efficient or accurate weapon, so we should be fine as long as we just don't get anywhere near him. His disruptors being offline means we can basically hold these 2 weak shields towards him. And no people left on board. Our Marine teams are finishing securing the vessel as they take the bridge. Lovely. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of additional prestige for that one. They tend to try and reward you for that sort of thing. So the Kolokos is now ours. And according to Starfleet Command, how much is that going to be worth? They shall reward us with 380 prestige. Not bad at all. Let's pull a dock here. Alright, so what was the consensus? Did we want to keep the Dreadnought or get rid of it? It'll give us a lot of cash, but we can deal with that in other ways. We could buy a police cruiser, and that's about it. So we'll have to save up even more for a smaller ship, ironic as that is, because it will not allow us to sell the Dreadnought, since we don't have... Well, actually, no, we could buy the police cruiser and sell the Dreadnought. So that's the question, guys. Do we want to sell the Dreadnought and buy something smaller? We've got a CL, a Galactic Survey Cruiser, although we won't be able to afford either one of these heavy cruisers. We could get basically the CL. So is that something we want to go for, or do we want to stick to the Dreadnought? Josh says sell the Dreadnought. Well, we'll be buying the police frigate anyway, because we need to sell the Dreadnought if we're doing that. And if I don't hear from anybody fairly shortly, I will sell things. So doing that just so I can have a visual representation of what's happening over on your guys' screen. Simmons wants to keep the Dreadnought. We got 1 for 1 now. And Raider wants an FCL. So we've got 2 for sell, 1 for keep. And the question is, what do we buy with what we get? So I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. And just because there's like a 20-second or so delay between me speaking and you guys actually getting it. So I don't want to cut anybody off who wants to actually throw their 2 cents in. Alright, so we've got most people are for sell it. So trade in the Antares. We can't buy a destroyer yet because I'm not seeing the FDD just yet in the shipyard, which is a bit odd. Do a quick check to make sure the FDD will actually be available. And we got the CL and the CLH. Scouts. Ooh, I don't... Oh, there it is. So there is a destroyer out there somewhere. I'm just not seeing it in the list just yet. Although we can spend some time to just go hunting for a destroyer. So let's go to the map. We're not taking Epicenter anyway. We are in a police vessel for now. Just a little bit of chilling with it. Could take a mission with it. That'd be amusing. There it is. Alright, so we can go for a light cruiser or a destroyer. And this will be the last question we'll ask about cash buying and stuff. So if we decide we have... Raider wants a light cruiser, and Josh wants a destroyer. So we got 1 for each. So Simbri and Gravemind and Troy don't buy destroyers, don't even have the power charge of the photons. Yeah, but we're not necessarily doing the optimal thing. We're doing the amusing thing. So we can either get a destroyer, which has more direct firepower, or we can get a light cruiser, which is a much more balanced vessel. So I'm going to assume that Stephen Troyle is going to vote in favor of Raider in order. So we'll count 2 for the CL and 1 for the destroyer. And I'll wait just a little bit longer to see if anybody wants to get involved. Otherwise, we're buying a light cruiser. Oh no, he's going for a DD. So we gotta do this relatively quickly because time is marching on, and the destroyer will eventually come off the ship. Gravemind, we can't buy a Q ship. They're not available to us because it would be an FHL, would be the freighter, and that's a hospital freighter. We have a couple of drone-armed freighters, but they're currently not available. DD only because I've seen enough CLs. Alright, so we've got votes for the destroyer. So let's go pick up an FDD. Buy. It is the USS Tokyo, and we can sell our little police cruiser the permit. Trade that in. Everybody say hello to the Tokyo. She is a classic Saladin-class destroyer. She's equipped with 4 photon torpedoes and no less than 6 phaser ones. That is more than a little outrageous with the amount that you can get on here. And unfortunately, she has to power all that on a single nacelle. Yeah, it doesn't exactly work like you think it might. And I think I'm going to come over here to the shipyard, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy, supply, trade in, and I'm going to go shipyard. Can't buy that one, but I can buy this one. Buy. And this is just so I can get the cash down because it's a little bit ridiculous. Alright, so we're in the Tokyo. We have 579. Let's do one more buy sell of a frigate if we have one. Yeah, we'll buy the FLG. Buy, supply, trade in the Freedom. Just trying to make sure that I'm not selling the Tokyo because the Tokyo is our brand new awesome ship that we will have to rely on for quite some time. Hey, that's a Q ship. That straight up is a Q ship. Like Gravemind wanted. FTQ is equipped with 5 phaser ones. Oh, that's pretty ridiculous. I'm actually going to buy that. And if it dies, it dies. The D, in my opinion, is the worst early era Federation ship in cost of power, but it's still a pretty good ship because the Federation just has good ships. It is truly the worst vessel that the Federation ever decided to design. So we're keeping Gravemind's USS Powell. It's his Q ship that he will captain and command. And a convoy escort, I suppose is kind of our job since we have a Q ship. So let's ready up. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of Q ship that I wanted. Alright, so if we sit still and stop and do nothing, we have enough power to charge 3 of our 4 photon torpedoes. Oh, that's so... Oh no, we can charge all 4. Okay, so I've got enough power to charge everything and move at a speed of 2. Absolutely 2. Also, let's be honest, the Saladins, they kind of look cool. They're not the most amazing Federation-looking ship, but they're pretty decent. And if I'm honest, I prefer the Saladin TOS era to the Saladin motion picture refit. I don't really know why, but I've always thought it looked just a little bit cooler. So we'll let the Starfleet transport command vessels pass on over top of us, and there is a single frigate off in the distance. It is an LR2. The pirates are getting involved. We now have enough power to move the vessel a little bit faster. Oh, the fun thing about Federation destroyers, so they were designed basically because the Federation Admiralty is made full of a bunch of, well, let's be honest, idiots. And they were thinking, hey, I have a Constitution class. The Constitution class, it's a warship, but it's also an exploration ship. It's big, and it's expensive. If I didn't need the exploration part of the ship and just needed the warship, surely I could have just as much firepower for much, much cheaper. And they gave that to Starfleet Engineering, and Starfleet Engineering was like, okay, here. And this is what you come up with. Something that is terrible. The problem is, without all the Constitution class's additional systems in order to power all of that long-range 5-year mission exploration dealy, you wind up with a ship that just doesn't have the power systems to charge its weapon systems. So, as you can see, we can make a speed of 2 and charge all of our weapons, and that's it. Should have just built more Connies? Well, the Connie was much more expensive. That was its problem. It was incredibly expensive. It's a huge, powerful ship. Also, I mean, look at that. We just did 45 damage through his shields. That's not an insignificant amount of firepower. We literally match the Constitution class's firepower. We just don't match its power generation. So we're going to turn one of our photon torpedoes offline, and we're also going to slow down a bit so we can just get our power situation under control. I'm going to surprise so many pirates. Yes, indeed. Although right now you're running away from a couple of missiles, which is probably the best idea. So we will rely on 2 photon torpedoes. Oh, I turned them on. I can't use the red alert button if I do this. There we go. See, it's Constitution level firepower. It's just not Constitution level everything else. Although the shields are not bad. It was an interesting idea, represented by people who didn't actually know what they were doing to design warships. And thus we have this. So here's the other question. Where are we going? Like, which direction of the Federation should we head to for war? Because, well, we've got to pick one way. We have lots of enemies, we just don't know which way to go. Patrol. See the thing, since you're hilariously overgunned for a destroyer, you can just turn off some of the guns until the enemy is damaged. Exactly, or, ideally, you start the mission at your speed of 2, and you wait, and you charge up, because once all your weapon systems are charged, you can actually book it pretty decently. It's not terrible in terms of that. But in the middle of the fight, yeah, you just can't handle all of that additional power, draw. You need that second nacelle, because the way that Starfleet battles kind of envisioned it was the more nacelles you have, the more power you have. And so the Constitution class has, of course, 2 nacelles, because it needs all that power, and they're big nacelles. And for the Saladin, it's literally just a single Constitution class nacelle hung underneath a Constitution class saucer section. Cut out one of the nacelles in the engineering section, and surely you'll have enough power. Well, that turned out not to be the case at all. And then you've got the frigates. They've got smaller, shorter nacelles, but they've got 2 of them. And then when you start getting into the war frigates, you start getting 3 nacelles, and then 4 nacelle designs. And then you get into the X era, and you're back down to 2, but they're kick-ass triangular nacelles. May as well kick the Klingons' teeth in. Yeah, we could do that. And Raiders on board with that. So we got 3 people that want us to head down south to the Klingons. All right, we shall do that. We have a single frigate and a second frigate to go up against. They do appear to be both E3s. So we are facing the Klingon birds of prey. Let's get ourselves up to our speed. Clearly. Well, the Powell has just announced that it has weapons, so I'm probably going to have to more manually control that if we really want to sneak up on pirates. Let's get up to our maximum cruising speed. If we have all weapons charged, we can actually make a speed of 24. That's pretty decent. So a speed of 24 with all weapons held. We just don't have any power for things like point defense systems and forward shield reinforcement, so we're going to drop down a point of speed in order to get a little bit of that. Yeah, Saladin's terrible, terrible design done by an admiralty that didn't quite understand how to build warships. Which is ironic because the Federation would go on to have some of the best destroyers in the entirety of the universe. Like, Federation heavy war destroyers are amazing. They're so well equipped, they're fast, they're maneuverable, they've got a decent amount of firepower, they're flexible as all hell, they're just crazy good. And another problem that early Federation designs have, and it's a lot of early ships designs they have, we have no anti-drone systems. It's a bit of a problem, because he's going to launch his missiles, and that's going to take up 2 of my phasers. Except I'm going to wait until I'm right on top of him so we can, wow, just annihilate half of his ship. Holy crap. We lost one of our shields doing that, but geez, this G2 has nothing left. And you have stuff left, but wow. I have never actually think I've done that before. I mean, I've killed somebody in one pass, but I don't think I've ever annihilated every single weapon system they have on the ship in one go. Okay, he still has a missile launcher. Get ready for phaser strike? Yeah, we'll save for the phaser strike. Because we can get 4 phasers on target. That might be enough with all how badly his... Oh, we can only get 2 on target. We can avoid that mine. Court Marshal of the Q-Ship's weapons officer. We're not Klingons. We're not that mean. A couple of phasers off over in that direction. Did I turn the... Good, they're off. You, on the other hand, are on. I can ignore you for the most part. Although it looks like you've got both of your missile launchers back, so I probably should pay a little bit of attention to. Slow down. We don't need all that speed. We should actually be starcasting a little bit because while we are destroyers, we really seriously outgun both of these guys. I want to wait until I can get enough heavy weapon systems on target. Okay, phaser capacitor is charged. About to have the rest of the phasers ready to go. Let's kick on a high energy turn. Wait, do I normally only have a 60? Let's cancel that. Oh no, it worked. Oh, it worked. Wow. I should not have risked that, but it worked. Okay, G2 is out of the equation. We're just down to a single E3C. He's got 4 Phase 3s and a pair of disruptors, which is not terrible. So court-martial him to throw him out the airlock. Well, there's no reason to court-martial him either. He just got a little bit skittish. And to be honest, I didn't actually order him that he couldn't do things until I told him to. If I really wanted to make sure that would happen, I would have done that. Let's just present a fairly decent shield towards him and wait for the phasers to recharge. We're about to have half of our photon torpedoes ready to go. Q-ship taking a little bit of damage. Oh, wow, your shield is actually missing in one of the spots. We can get a fairly decent phaser pass, and you have weakened shields right there. There we go. Cutting into him quite nicely as we'll pass on through. And our little phaser boat friend, the USS Powell. So IKV Annihilation has lost half of his normal weapon systems. I'm not sure on the disruptors. They may be offline and we're just not close enough to figure it out. But his phaser 3s are down to just 2 of them. And Powell passed close enough to him that we know probably for sure that his disruptors do work. He just probably isn't powering them. Photon torpedoes are ready to go, so let us engage. 1 good hit, 1 miss, not terrible. And the phaser's coming in for the finisher. I think it's supposed to be the reverse of that. Photon torpedoes are supposed to attack the hull, but all weapons deal damage in this game, so you may as well just use them however you want. Although that would be an interesting mechanic if you actually were able to code it so that the photon torpedoes did less damage to shields, but more damage to hull. That would be an interesting wrinkle just in the photon torpedo mechanic in general. I'll probably just pass on through this one. 8 damage repaired on the Powell. And the Powell does need stuff. We may as well. We're swimming in cash. Do we want to move up to a CAR as soon as we can? Or do we want to save and just hang around to the destroyer for a while? That would really mess with some Federation strategies. It would, because the photon torpedo is all about long-range blinking. And now suddenly you're asking them to have to rely on not that long-range blinking. Well, you still could do it, you just wouldn't do as much. Say 2 damage instead of 4 damage. But then you do 10 damage or 12 damage with a photon torpedo against hull. Maybe not half it then. Well, maybe on the proximities that wouldn't be terrible. Oh wow, that's 2 plasma monsters. That's not cool, game. I think we're gonna lose the Powell. Yeah, we got an asteroid monster small and an asteroid monster medium, which is a bit of a problem. May as well stay a destroyer. Yeah, but destroyers are limited. They can only do so much. We need to slow down because we're dealing with monsters, big monsters, really terrifyingly big monsters. Well, at least we paid them to fight with us, and they apparently are a Hydran-inspired pirate gang. Let's pick up the speed since most of our photon torpedoes are charged. Not all of them, but most of them. We're only charging the 1 now. So at this point, photon torpedoes set in proximity. We're just gonna stick at range and blaze away. Hey, we got a hit. Oh, did I only fire half of my photon torpedoes? Photon torpedoes? Oh, they're set on different hardpoints because I haven't actually set up my photon torpedoes yet. So let's actually take the time to do that as long as we're avoiding these guys like the plague. So photon torpedoes on 2, combined, and then you shall be on 4 because I'll shut you off a lot, and you shall be on 3 because I'll use you a lot. Photon torpedoes, normal mode, all of them select. Hit them with as much firepower as we've got for as fast as we can because asteroid monsters are terrifying, and we need to leave. We need to not be here for a little while. We'll slow down a bit, let the photon torpedoes charge up, and he's fired again. And there goes the Anarch. And how about you, asteroid monster large? You managed to not kill, thankfully, my little friend. Come in here nice and close. Use the phasers. Strike with all the phasers you have. Slow down. Slow down. We're okay right here. Almost have him. He's lost all of his defensive systems. Okay, we can ignore him now. So now we're going to focus on him. Did you not hear me? Let's go and tell him that you are only allowed to focus. Oh god! I did not have that ready. I was trying to manage things, and that did not go well. So we'll repair the warp engines, we'll repair the phaser 3 that exploded, and we'll go back to photon torpedo plinking. Proximity. Here we go. Just keep good hits on and stay at range, and we need more speed. Let's you and them fight, say to the pirates. Yeah, taking an R-type plasma torpedo to the face when your ship's so small is not particularly nice. If fires on the bridge, I think we're okay. Maybe. potentially. Well, here's a fire extinguisher and hope you can put it out. That missed. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. More power. All the power. Just run. And hey, we burned it out. Nice. I'm not sure if that was an R-type plasma torpedo or not. Photon torpedoes. We're going to slow down so you can charge and do more things. Fire. We're just going to have to stay and run. No, we're good now. Now we're ready to fight him. I mean, back then, yeah, run. But now we're okay. We're fine. Things are safe. Reasonably. We're okay. Just gotta wait for all the systems to charge. Stay away from him. Stay far away from him until we break all of them. And once we break all of the systems, then we can go in. That was a miss. That was 2 good hits. I will take that. Don't do that, Powell. Well, I suppose you've opened up an opportunity. Let's dive on into him. Hit him with all the weapon system we've got, because we're about to have a couple of photon torpedoes. Normal. Hi. Hey, we got several of the systems offline. We took out everything except a G-type plasma torpedo, and the Powell is trying to get me killed. Hey, we got everything. Alright, so the enemy has been defeated. No hull breaches yet. Yep. I just lost Jimmy from that hole. Alright, so we've got him pretty much figured out. They have no defenses left. They are monsters, which means, well, once they're damaged, they're pretty useless. The only monster that we ever really used was Pfeiffer's Song, and that was a large sun glider that we used for our Beast Raiders campaign. It's quite a nice little ship. We used it for, I'd say at least 10 episodes. Alrighty, so we've got him dead. Mostly. Almost. Photon torpedoes to finish it off. Love it. That's the way you defeat your enemy with photon torpedoes. Single nacelle looks so weird, almost like they cheaped out on it. Well, that's literally how the ship got designed. They were trying to cheap out on the Constitution. Like you've hit the nail on the head. Exactly what the plan was. We've got an MET-6 patrol, but we do need to resupply a little bit. And the Powell is just burning through mines. Hopefully he's not trying to get himself killed too much. And shuttles, but that's reasonable because, you know, plasma torpedo monsters. I'm not exactly going to tell him that he's not allowed to use shuttles. Did I already repair the damage to the actual ship? Not sure if I did, but whatever. We are fully kitted out and ready to go, and we're on the neutral zone, so we shall be able to cross it and start attacking the Klingons themselves. But let's see what sort of patrol we run into here. Oh, we're being escorted today by USS Richmond, which is a full-on CL, a light cruiser, as well as the USS Thresher, which appears to be our resupply ship. Yes, the Powell lives, although I'm not quite certain how he survived a fight with that much plasma. He only took a single plasma F torpedo to the face, so good job there, Powell. We do need to slow down a little bit more so that we can actually charge all of our weapon systems. I am seeing a frigate and 2 frigates. That'll work out. We can fight that, especially as a fleet. So the Klingons are apparently probing the border at this point, crossing the neutral zone, poking at our various stations, only using several light vessels, but that's potentially dangerous. Fleet screen tells us it's a G2 and an E4C. Okay, so the G2 is the gunship. He will have a little bit better point defense protection going on. So we are going to have to deal with that a little bit carefully. So, probably need to pick up the pace, as well as give ourselves a little bit of forward shield reinforcement, slow down the speed of time, do something that normal humans can handle. And we nailed him with every single shot again. That's the second gunship that we've just ripped open. Alright, get that forward shield reinforcement going on. So he has lost his 2 phaser 2s, and the Powell just executed him. Nice shooting there, Powell. Powell about to get shot by a couple of more missiles, but picks them up, does not even care, and drags them away. Really, it's the E4C that is the more dangerous opponent, but we keep going after the gunships. So phasers fully charging back up, almost ready to go. The phaser capacitor is almost charged as well. And that'll allow us to start charging the photon torpedoes once again, although, honestly, let's shut off this photon torpedo so our photon torpedo on the other side can actually operate. We'll double up. Now, my favorite destroyer of the early era destroyers, well, I think it might still be earlier, is the guided weapon destroyer, because what that does is it takes one of these photon torpedo hardpoints and removes it, and replaces it with a pair of missile launchers, which that's a much better setup. Sure, you lose a little bit in the photon torpedoes, and there's only so many missiles that you can have, but it allows you to have a much more power-balanced ship. So we're going to come around to this open shield here and fire into the back of it. See if I can't get the other side phasers involved in this one. Yes, just in time. Able to get all 4 of my 6 phasers to shoot right down into the hull itself. Gun down like a degenerate. Yeah. You need an updated model and desperately an updated texture. Something to at least bring your hull color in line with the rest of the Federation line. Because I have seen a properly painted miniature of this, and it can actually look pretty cool. But the version that we have here needs a little bit of fixing. Although, how cool would it be if we could get like the Pacific 301 ship? Oh, that'd be awesome. So we're just gonna sit here and bully him to death. Our light cruiser friend taking care of everything as we pull on through. And another victorious mission. So we have begun our brand new Federation campaign along the borders of Klingon space, and for the stream from now on, we are going to fight our way against the Klingons until they are gone. We have 1,077 prestige. If we were to sell our ship, we would have about 1,300, but that is nowhere near the CC Plus that we would want to move up into, which is a command cruiser refit, which happens to have the motion picture advancement stuff. And we're quite a ways away from that dreadnought that we started with. Oh, that was one heck of a start. Let's see, is there anything else that we might want to get our hands on? We could get a CL Plus, but I think the CL Plus just adds a phaser, right? It adds a phaser and missile launchers. Interesting. Alright, so it has been 2 hours, so that means it's the end of the stream. We finally got through the pirate campaign and are now moving on to a Federation versus Klingon campaign. A more classic battle could not be had. And we'll probably start trying to pressure this planet up here. So if you are new to this channel, we play Starfleet Command and we play Battletech. Both are 1980s board games that became digitized at the turn of the millennium, although Hairbrain Scheme Battletech only came out last year. So we play Rogue Tech, which is a more advanced version of that, which adds in a lot of tabletop things. And we are running close to the end of our second playthrough of that, and before we move on to the next playthrough, which will be updating to the most recent version of Rogue Tech, should be really exciting. So if that sounds at all interesting, big stompy robots or Federation starships in space, go check out the rest of the channel, see if there's anything that you actually like. If you have a suggestion or a comment, leave it down in one of the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking to take on new people, and especially with all my old awesome people who are always here. I am going to throw up a link to our Discord, which we recently started. Try to be polite, just because we're all new to this and we want to be nice people, I assume. So there's the link to the Discord and chat right there. And yeah, starships in space. Yes, tall ships in space is what I meant to say. Big sailing ships in space. Alright, so that's going to do it for today. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time we release one of these videos, press that little bell icon. We have streams on Wednesday at 5 and Saturdays at 5, Starfleet Command and Rogue Tech respectively. And I will see you all in the next episode.